Hi guys, Rizal here from the Hefni Guitar channel. Today we are going to expand our learning on the 5 major scale patterns, beginning with obviously the pentatonics, which is a very guitar thing. Now, most of the times, beginner guitar players think of the pentatonic scale as a separate scale from the major scale. However, I think as we get better on our instruments, we tend to realize that the pentatonic scale is part of the major scale. Obviously, penta meaning 5, which is 5 notes out of the 7 notes of the major scale. Think of the pentatonic scale as the sweet notes of the major scale. Now that we've completed the blues chords workshop as well as the jazz chords workshop, some of you still need time to assimilate this knowledge. In any case, we are going to start on the guitar scales workshop so you can study this at your own pace, but the ultimate goal is to link the scales to the chords and vice versa. So this week's lesson, we are going to explore some ways that we can build our proficiency on the scales, and we'll talk about some techniques that we can apply on our picking hand. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is to recap the 5 major scale patterns from the previous video. So we are in the key of G, so pattern 1 starts on the 3rd fret and goes like this. Okay. Pattern 2, the Dorian. A Dorian starts on the 5th fret. The next pattern, B Phrygian, starts on the 7th fret. Next pattern, yes, we're going to skip the Lydian because that's part of your pattern 3. We're going to go to the 10th fret, and this is your Mixolydian, D Mixolydian. And lastly, your Aeolian or your natural minor scale, it starts on the 12th fret. E Aeolian or E natural minor goes like this. And then it will repeat your Ionian or pattern 1 again, 1 octave higher on the 15th fret. So it will retain this sequence, pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in whatever key that you are in. Right now we are in the key of G, so pattern 1 starts on the G note here on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. If we are in the key of, say, key of C, and the C note is on the 8th fret on the 6th string, so pattern 1 will begin over here. Pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4, and so on and so forth will follow that same sequence. So now we are going to learn the pentatonic scales, and I call them the standard pentatonic scales rather than just the major and the minor pentatonic because they all belong to the same, I suppose, family. Check out my video over here talking about rethinking the pentatonic scale. So that video is basically to introduce names for the other 5 patterns rather than calling them Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. But in any case, I'll go through them over here first. So beginning with our major scale in G on the 3rd fret, the pentatonic scale that corresponds to the major scale here is your major pentatonic. Since we already have the name major pentatonic, we will keep to it. And it goes like this. So if we were to play the major scale in G in pattern 1, to interchange between them smoothly. Okay, so practice that. So pattern 2 of the pentatonic is superimposed over pattern 2 of the major scale, the Dorian shape. There is a name for this scale actually. It's called the Egyptian scale. Rightly or wrongly, in any case, it goes like this. Similarly, interchange between pattern 2 of your major scale, the Dorian shape, with the pattern 2 or form 2 of the pentatonic, otherwise known as the Egyptian scale. Let's start with the Dorian. Pattern 3 of your major scale, the Phrygian, B Phrygian. The corresponding pentatonic shape form 3, there is also a name for it, okay? It's a Japanese scale called the Banshiki-Cho. In any case, the pentatonic scale goes like this. And the major scale underneath that is like this. Interchanging between the two. Obviously, you don't have to play it as fast as that. When you're learning, you take your time to get it right. Okay, I'll give you some tips after we've gone through all 5 patterns on how we can do that. Now the next pattern, pattern 4, which is the Mixolydian, D Mixolydian. Okay, on the 10th fret. Okay, I'll play the major scale first. And the corresponding pentatonic, form 4. There's a name for this. It's called the Ritsu or Ritusen scale. It also goes by the name the Scottish pentatonic, and it goes like this. So interchanging between the two. And lastly, the Aeolian shape or the relative minor. They're both the same scale, we're just calling it by different names. It's like 2 names for the same scale on the 12th fret. Okay, so E Aeolian or E minor scale goes like this. And obviously, the pentatonic scale that fits within the minor scale is the minor pentatonic. Since it's already been called the minor pentatonic, we don't need to change it any further. So it goes like this. Interchanging between the two, we get. So practice interchanging between the major scale, the 5 major scale patterns, and their corresponding pentatonic within the standard pentatonic family.